Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and good evening in different parts of the world. Uh, we are going to talk about a couple of topics today that's really very important for 2026: building confidence and self-esteem, motivation and purpose, and emotional intelligence. Uh, we are going to start from the beginning with building confidence by Miriam, and then motivation purpose by Angel, and I will conclude with emotional intelligence. But these are very important for 2026. uh, to do something new. Doing something new is really good. That helps you move forward. We like to learn new things. We don't want to learn old things. Everybody knows that, isn't it? Because, if I tell them again the history of America, they'll say, "Eh, we know this, we don't need that." But that's not the point. You do something new, you learn something new. And to do something new, always you build upon what you know already. That will really work. So that's what my teaching career says. My experience in teaching career says. That's what I tell them. Every time you come, you learn something, but you're going to build upon what you know because you're adults, you're not children. For adults to learn from scratch is a different mindset. That'll be completely different. It's not that easy. But for adults, we've got something in our head. We have some knowledge. We build on that knowledge. We build on that knowledge. We build on that knowledge. Then we get better. The same thing happens even spiritually. I don't want to talk about spirituality right now, but with that, I'll conclude my short talk. So, the welcome to 2026, because this is going to be a great year for all of you. Uh, you're almost out of all the pandemics and all the problems. Maybe just happening, it just clashes all around the world, but career-wise, this is going to be a good year. And and today is a good day, January 13th. 13th, for many of us, we think, oh my God, 13, 13, Friday the 13th. But 13th is a good number for America. We started with 13 colonies. That was the initial United States of America. And many countries also, 13 is not a bad number. So I wish you all good luck. And I'll hand over the floor to Miriam. She will take you through building confidence, self-esteem. Thank you.
So thank you, Sam, for your introduction. I believe one of the most attractive attributes we have are confidence. But what is confidence and can we create confidence in our life? How can we feel that we live the life we want to live? And so others also can see us like the person we are. Because confidence is nothing you can achieve to be much louder or create fight in yourself. That is more about accept yourself, the person we are. Accept all part of you, all part how you talk with yourself. So self-esteem is created on how you treat yourself, your thought you have of yourself, your inner voice relationship you have within yourself, how you speak with yourself, no one else looking at you. When you're tired, when you feel that you don't have the motivation you want in your life, when you fail, or when you doubt yourself. All this little inner voice you have, all of us have within ourselves, how we talk to ourselves when no one else listens to us. Because when we learn to treat ourselves well, when we can accept all part of ourselves, the worst part of ourselves, that means that we can create something new within ourselves. And we can create a person who accept ourselves, and that creates real confidence. So every single time you listen to yourself, listen twice. Is that really truth? Or can I see it another way? And can I learn from it? Even if it's uncomfortable, it's nothing to be perfect in life. No one are perfect. But it's much more about accept yourself, all part of yourself. That see that you are enough the person you are in all aspects in your life. and live in a place where you feel that you are in line with the person you want to become, because you are unique the way you are. So when you're looking for yourself, don't be focused on fixing yourself. Be much more focused on trust yourself, that you have the power you need within yourself, and accept all part of you. Instead of judge yourself, so see, accept, and send love to yourself for the person you are, how far you have come already, and what you want to achieve in your life. So confidence, real confidence, is created on self-esteem, the person you are, the person you become, how you treat yourself. And the person everyone around you will look at you, or the person how you treat yourself. So why it's so important to be honest for yourself. Accept all part of your identity. So get really deep into yourself and sending yourself love, acceptance for the person you are. And allow yourself to feel safe, both within yourself, and relax with your own voices, with your own person you are, because you are unique the way you are. So don't perform to be someone else. Be yourself and see why you think. And when things happen in your life, try to think it twice. What is the lesson in these things, and how can I learn from it? Why that happened right now? And how can that help me to be even a better version of myself? It's nothing to fix yourself. It's to trust the process, trust yourself, and trust the person you are. On this way, you also create much more confidence within yourself, because you are complete honest for yourself. And people around you will also attract for the person you are, because you are unique the way you are.
Yeah, that's great. Good job. All points well taken. I'll now give the floor to Angel, going to talk about motivation, right?
Thank you,
In
Sam.
2026. Yep.
Thank you, Sam, for the
Go ahead.
introduction, and thank you, Miriam. Truly inspiring. So, my topic for today is motivation and purpose. So, I believe motivation and purpose are truly important things in our life, and everybody wants to find their own purpose in life. So, I have some basic steps you can take in order to find that purpose. But we're going to start first with understanding what is actually motivation and what is purpose. So, what is actually motivation? Motivation is that energy that pushes you to act. It is the reason you start something and the force that keeps you moving forward, even when the things feel difficult. The motivation actually answers to the question, why should I act right now? So, what are the key points that we can take out of motivation? Motivation, it can be emotional. It can be emotional, like, for example, when you have a desire, or when you fear about something, or when you are excited about something. It can be external. It can be external, like, for example, money, or when you are looking for recognition, or when you are under pressure. It can be also internal, when you have a passion about doing something, where you act on your values, and when you are curious to start something new. And we have to understand something about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It is not always stable. Motivation is powerful, but it is not lasting. It's temporary. It can spark action, but it cannot always sustain it. For example, you can be motivated, you can feel motivated after watching a video and you decide to start exercising. That initial push pushes you into motion and you start acting on it. But it takes something else in order to continue on a long term. So that is purpose. So, what is actually purpose? Purpose is your long term reason for living and acting. It is the deeper meaning behind you and why you do what you do, even when motivation is low. Purpose would answer to the question, why does this matter to my life? We have to understand that purpose is comparative to motivation, is more deeper and stable. Purpose guides decision and sets priorities. It gives you the direction during uncertainty, and it connects your actions to meaning and contribution. Purpose doesn't change daily. Purpose, in fact, anchors you into the present moment towards a better end. Let's take the same example. You continue exercises not because you feel motivated, but you continue exercises because you want to live a healthier life. You want to be present for your family, and you feel strong long term. In other words, to compare motivation and purpose, motivation is a short-term energy, while purpose is a long-term direction. Motivation is emotional and it fluctuates, while purpose is more meaningful and more stable. Motivation gets you started, but the purpose is what keeps you going. Motivation would say, I feel like doing this. And purpose would say, this actually matters for my life. So why we actually need both? You may say that, oh, I need only purpose. Well, motivation starts the journey, but the purpose is what sustains that journey. When motivation fades, and for sure it will, purpose is what carries you forward. If you build your life only on motivation, you'll stop when things get hard. If you build it on purpose, you'll continue even when motivation disappears. So, how to find your purpose? Finding your purpose is not about a single aha moment. It is an entire process. It's a process of discovery, of alignment, and action. Action is the main thing. So, to understand what purpose really is first, purpose is not one perfect job. It's not a fixed title. It's not something you find once and never change. But purpose is the direction your life moves in. What gives meaning to the effort behind what you're doing? How you use your strengths to serve something bigger than yourself. And purpose evolves as you evolve. It's not a single time job. So how to find actually the purpose? First of all, look at what moves you emotionally. Your purpose is often hidden in what emotionally affects you. So in order to find that thing, emotional thing, you need to ask yourself these questions or multiple questions of this kind. What problems in your world frustrate me? Okay? What problems in my world frustrate me? Or what situations make me feel deeply alive or fulfilled? Answer to those questions. What stories or topics do I always come back to? So you have to understand that strong emotions are just clues, and they point to what matters most to you. So answer those questions. The second thing what you can do is to identify your strengths, because your skills are not enough. Skills can be learned, but the strengths are natural tendencies that also you need to discover what are those. So I'm going to give you a few questions on how you should find your strengths by answering to these questions. So ask yourself, what do people often ask me for help with? And give the answers to those. Or what do I learn faster than others? That's a skill. And that is also your strength. When do I feel most confident and useful? Answer to that question as well. Your purpose often lies in the intersection of what you are good at and what will help others. Then look at your pain, past struggles, because nothing comes out of good times, but all the good things come out of bad times, most of the time at least. Your hardest moment often shape your purpose. So ask this question and give answers. Write it down all on the paper and give answers to these questions. What challenges have I overcome? Then what lessons did I learn the hard way? And who could benefit from what I've experienced? Give the answers to those, because many people find that purpose is helping others avoid or overcome what they once struggled with. Okay? If you don't have a clear idea on your values, you need to clarify your values, because purpose aligns with your core values. So write down the top 5 values you refuse to compromise with. I give you some examples. It can be freedom, it can be growth, honesty, family, impact, and others. Give me situations where you felt proud of yourself. Write it down on the paper. Then give situations where you felt uncomfortable or conflicted. Write it down on the paper. Purpose feels right because it respects who you truly are. And another thing that we usually do is overthink about something. So instead of overthinking, you need to experiment. Purpose is discovered through action, not thinking alone. So you should try volunteering on doing something, or you should try starting a small project. You should learn a new skill or create a content or help other informally. Pay attention to what gives you energy, not just success. Success is not enough. You need to have energy from something. And also ask the right question. You should always ask the right questions. Instead of asking, what is my purpose? That probably everybody does. That is not correct. You should ask more like, how can I help and how? Who can I help and how? Because purpose becomes clearer when it's outward focused, not self-centered. And the last thing, accept that purpose grows over time. You don't need to see the full picture from start. You won't see the full picture from start. Your purpose at 20 will look totally different than your purpose at 40. What matters the most is moving in the right direction. Clarity comes after action, doesn't come before. So you don't find your purpose by waiting, but you find your purpose by living, by trying, by failing, by learning, by growing. So in order to find your purpose, you should start small, you should stay curious, you should be honest, because your purpose reveals itself as you move forward. Thank you very much. I leave it now with Sam, with emotional intelligence. You're on mute, Sam.
Yeah, would you like to answer some questions? Miriam, want to ask him a question you want on motivation and purpose before we move on and the subject is still fresh? No, you're muted.
Sorry. I have some dog in
That's
my
okay.
house,
That's,
and
yeah,
it's lot of more noises.
yeah.
Okay, Angel, do you want to have some question now?
Yes,
Can Yeah. Why is motivation described as powerful but temporary? And what is the risk of building your life only on motivation?
So motivation is the first thing that sparks into your mind. For example, you see a motivational video and you get inspired by it, and suddenly you say like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and you start moving on that direction. But unless you create consistency and unless you build momentum, you're never going to get there, because motivation is the thing that sparks the idea into your mind, but it's not the thing that will actually continue even when things get tough. And you may start doing it for one day, second, third day, but if you don't create a routine out of that, you won't get far with motivation. So you need to have something extra. You need to build an idea and to repeat it often enough until you create a certain purpose of what exactly do I want to do in my life, and to actually do every step in becoming that person you want to become.
Okay, thank you. And how does have a clear sense of purpose helping you continue acting when motivation fades?
So when motivation fades, exactly as I said previously, you need to build momentum. So you need to start with you're always going to start with motivation, but when you repeat that particular thing that get you inspired, and you repeat it more often and often, then you create an entire routine. Then you have to look for what actually am I willing to unravel with everything that I'm doing. Where do I want to get? Where do I see myself in the future? And
Mhm.
start from that top level. And from that top level, where do I want to get in the future? Then you start answering those questions which I put in the presentation, and then you discover yourself. Idea about the purpose is to discover yourself, to discover what you are meant to do and what makes you happy to do what you want to
Mhm.
do, because that will actually help you a lot getting to that particular point in time, and understanding what exactly you need to do in order to do it on a long term, not just being motivated of a motivational speech or a video that you have looked at. It creates an entire way of living.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So let's get back to the last speaker. Yeah, I'm going to talk about what's emotional intelligence. Uh, Emotional intelligence is the most difficult thing in the world. That's what I can say. How many times have we all cracked today from morning till evening? Have you not cursed somebody? Have you not misbehaved? Maybe to yourself? Emotional intelligence is very important. And in 2026, we are advancing more and more in technology that changes everything. You don't even talk to people now face to face most of the time. Only people you talk face to face is your family. All others are online. You don't even know how others are feeling when you talk. That's the reason I called it as you got to measure your temperature every day. Mean to say that it's like a metaphor that the temperature is your emotion. Am I angry? I'm dull. Am I this? Am that? It could happen to anybody. You might say I'm in a bad mood. Why are you in a bad mood? Emotional intelligence plays a big part in every human life. Every human life. Even some animals can show emotion now because we are training animals as pets. They are gaining their consciousness levels are going up. But emotionally, we are all affected. One way or the other, we are all affected emotionally. And we don't measure ourselves. That's the biggest problem. We don't measure ourselves. Have you ever told, if somebody asks you, has you ever told, hey, how's your day going? Well, good, great, everything is going fine. Thank you. How about you? How's your day going? We don't. How's your day? Day is going. Yeah, it's okay. Regular stuff. Things that are happening around. But we don't. We don't measure our intelligence. I mean, emotional intelligence. We call it emotional intelligence because This word has been coined by one other person. I'm going to show you the slide. And emotional intelligence is not new. Emotional intelligence has been there for a long time. We never paid attention. We're always paying attention to the central intelligence. And somebody discovered IQ that was completely useless. I can challenge that person who discovered that IQ also. He invented it, not even discovered. All IQs are measured only at the age of 15. And when you measure the same IQ on the same person, the same IQ test when he's 50 or 40, he'll get a low score. I will challenge those tests. I've challenged before in my medical career. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. It all depends upon how you train yourself, how you train the student, how you train the candidate. That's what it is. So emotional intelligence should say, are we all emotional intelligence? We are not. I'm not emotionally intelligent. I struggle every day to keep up with the emotions. It's not easy because there might be audience out there who might hear, oh, emotional intelligence, I know everything. Don't say that because you don't know everything. If somebody says, I know that, that means it doesn't know. That's what I would say in the teaching career wise. Nobody knows everything. We are all learning. We are on the path, on this journey on this earth. We learn every day. So with that small thing, let me just show you just a few important stuff why I'm insisting on this. Because the days are changing and more things are advancing. And it was strange to read today the newspaper. It was in Guardian, UK. They are trying to find out about one of the AI that has been used by X, I believe, is called the Grok, where you can change the face of a girl and you can undress a person. And the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has appealed, stating that it has got to be taken out. Is it not surprising? And is it not interesting? I believe in the British because, they still have that sense, that common sense never goes, that really matters to the humanity. No wonder Britannica ruled the waves. And of course, we were all under Britain for a long, long time. I just want to show you here. There's the timeline of emotional intelligence. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, that's fine. So this is the timeline of emotional intelligence. Don't think emotional intelligence is something new. It has been from 1800s. 1870, Darwin said he linked the emotion to survival. And you got to read his book. He writes in that those who can control their emotions can survive longer. And then 1920, Thorndike, he proposes social intelligence. That's a lovely book again. If you have a chance, read. You can just Google Thorndike. You will get everything. And I do have the PDF with me in my library. And then 1940, Westlaw, he emphasized non-intellectual factors. This was a breakthrough because when he said non-intellectual factors, that was surprising. What are these non-intellectual factors that are really important human beings? And then in 1990, Solovey and Mayer, they defined the model, EI model, emotional intelligence model. I don't want to go into the model right now because that needs more time. So this scope of this talk is just to give you the introduction why it is important. And then Goldman, 1995, he popularized EI with a bestseller. He wrote the book, Emotional Intelligence. And if you can read that book, that's a great book. And 2003, Harvard Business Review reported 80% of competencies that differentiate top performers from others are in the domain of emotional intelligence. The best managers, the best CEOs, the best physicians, maybe the best teachers. They were all 80% of their competencies were what differentiated them was emotional intelligence. And while it's only become a more popular buzzword in the past decade, the concept has been there for at least maybe 25 years or more than that. So, this, I just wanted to talk about how emotional intelligence affects us in everyday life. Because that's one thing we all need to worry about. Because this people think just emotional intelligence. Oh, you got to be emotionally intelligent, but why? But what does it affect? What are we looking at? And we say that this. Why do we need emotional intelligence? And what are the and how are you going to pay the price if you are not emotional intelligence? You should have. This is emotional intelligence according to me, and I found this diagram in one of the psychology books, the modern psychology books. Just see it how many ways it affects you. It affects you, the psychological well-being, work and professional, social relationship, academic and cognitive, and other interesting finding, career, money, emotional eavesdropping, emotional forecasting, attachment, and EI training. I've been hitting that all the time for a long, at least for about maybe 2 or 3 years. And the social relationship, you can see that how you behave with your children, that matters a lot. As a hypnotherapist, I'm telling you, all the trauma, all the beliefs you develop that really molds you, or from the how your parents behave to you with you, and because you can behave in whichever way to the parent because you're still learning, you're a kid. But the parent, that is very important. How the parents can talk to their kids. How can they show the emotion? How can they, if, if a kid can come and now he does something wrong, it's not that you're going to smack him and say that, damn, you should not be doing this. No. Why can't the parents change? They have to change. And I have a program on that for parents. I got a program on that for parents who are parents of ADHD and people who are got a kind of an the destructive behavior. How to talk to the children. That is very important, and we all lack it. Sorry to say that because we are not taught. We learned it as adult. Of course, we have got. I had parents who barked at me. That's fine. That that has affected me in one way or the other. But as I grew a bit older, things changed. Started rationalizing. So again, then the better social skill for children, the better social skill for adults, and positive perception by others, a better family and intimate relationship. This is another field that has not been hit for a long time because I'm also a relationship coach, and I've also got programs on how to help the spouses conflicts. This is very important. Intimate relationship, almost every separation is because they don't understand each other. Because they are not able to express themselves properly. If one doesn't behave properly, other things they should also not behave properly. So things go haywire. So that's another important part of it. And other thing is about the depression and health, mental health. Most of the mental health are because lack of emotional intelligence. They get into depression. And remember again, emotional intelligence can also leave you with bad health. It can create problems that can lead to stress. Stress can lead to hypertension. Hypertension can, and also stress can lead to diabetes. You got various huge amount of things that are all comprised in the small two words EI. That's the theme for 2026. And why are we talking about this in 2026? Is that emotional intelligence changes when you have artificial intelligence and when you have all virtual calls. Emotional intelligence changes when you have in your emails, in your messages, the language you use, the tone you use. It may be misunderstood by the opposite person because you wanted to convey something, but you conveyed something else. Language matters. Uppercase, lowercase matters. Exclamation marks matters. Quote unquote matters. All these are taken as negatives most of the time. You put in uppercase. How are you doing? That doesn't mean that you're saying, how are you doing? That means, how are you doing? That's the meaning of that. All uppercase is kind of an alarming thing. And we change the colors of the words. Another problem there. So that's the reason it's more important in 2026. I just want to conclude with one more thing is that uh, maybe a couple of things more because I got this maybe a few, because I think the images they speak more than words. You can all have a look at this. All the audience might be really interested. Uh, Intelligence and emotion, they are different because most of the time their emotions are psychological changes, cognitive appraisals, and then behavioral responses and subject to experience. And did this need the social interaction adaptation? There's another wonderful drawing over there. It was really good. And you got intelligence again, high level, mid level, low level. We're not worried about that. But I just want to show one more thing for you, and then I will conclude. We can ask me the questions, and because now it's 20th century, everything changes. Let me just bust through a little bit, okay? Because so these are the components of EI, and motivation has already been spoken of. That's internal drive, goal focus, resilience. But EI needs self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, social skills, and I think my colleague Miriam told about you should know your inner self, know thyself. Temple of Delphi, Athens. Go, and if you, I think she has been there, but if you go there and see, you'll find that know thyself, then you shall understand the universe. That's what is written in Greek. Is it not fascinating how far it goes? And once you know who you are, if you recognize your emotions and triggers, manage your impulses, that's very important. Emotional reactions. Everybody will not have the same thought as you have. Everybody will not agree with everything you say. But there's nothing to worry about. Accept. Tell yourself, I don't know this, so I need to learn. Thank you. And then the social skills, relationship management, communication, conflict resolution. Those are important things. And more importantly, now, online communication, the big challenge because the limited nonverbal cues, misinterpretation of tone or intent. That's what I was stretching about. Delayed asynchronous response. Yeah, for me, if somebody doesn't respond for a while, in my language, that is the resistance inside. The resistance can be anything, it can be emotional, it can be physical, whatever it is, or behavioral. That's how I take it. And sometimes I also consider maybe, they were busy, they were taking something, they were in a meeting. Everything comes together. Now you can see how the positive and the negative way of looking at the things looks at. If I think in a positive way, I'll say, oh, it's delayed, mostly is busy, we can't answer. That's fine. Let's wait for the answer. He will answer definitely. Most probably is busy, it's the daytime. On the contrary, I can think, oh, that's a resistance. This guy doesn't like me. He doesn't want to tell me. He's shy. He can't express how we think and how we get the emotions around. If we think the negative way, our emotions, it'll make us angry. If we think the positive way, things change. As as my colleague Angel said about motivation and purpose, the same thing is here. One will cause increase of dopamine, other will cause increase of stress hormones. That's the only way I can just give you a neurophysiological manner. So be careful when you do EI. EI strategies, self-awareness, notice stress before responding, self-regulation, pause and reply to emails and messages. Empathy, consider others' perspectives, validate their feelings. And lastly, the social skills are clear communication, active listening, structured response. These are few things I stretch, and then I do run a program also on emotional intelligence, how to build emotional intelligence, and this program. I mean, I had at least the 4 clients so far, uh, and also for the relationship, I have a program. The it's interesting thing is that you'll find most of the relationships they get better once they learn this. I think this skill is very important to all of us, and it is for everyday life. Uh, and one last slide, and then I'll quit. I know I talk too much most of the time. That's the reason. We should never give the mic to a teacher, because that's the difference between. That's what I learned, because as teachers, we want everybody to learn. Sharing my knowledge is the only thing I did all the time in my life. Nothing else. 26 years, always sharing my knowledge. Not to show my superiority, not to show anything, just to impart what you know. And I put here a few things, common challenges and ER solutions for everyday life will be that, always the challenge, like, maybe you might be having frequent arguments, and you can apply the skill, the self-awareness, self-regulation, recognize the triggers, pause before reacting, feeling misunderstood. This is one of the worst thing human being has. Empathy, reflect and validate your partner's emotions or whoever it is talking to you. And emotional distance is another one that, people don't come together all the time. Because, this, I'll give you my own example, because, I would like to tell people all the time. Me and my wife, we sleep on different beds because all three of us has got different rooms. That doesn't mean that we don't have emotionality, we don't have emotional binding. No, because we meet to eat, we go out together, we watch movies together, and in fact, me and son, we do workouts together, and me and my wife, we cook together. So scheduled meaningful time together. That's what I'm trying to target, because they may have their own personal things what they want in their rooms. Okay, you walk, you got your bedroom because they like certain type of lighting, certain type of bed. They need not compromise with you. They got the freedom. So in those cases, emotional distance always they will always be there. You cannot be hugging everybody all the time, but have a scheduled, meaningful time together. Meet, talk, eat, laugh, enjoy, understand each other, and then the resentment over chores is another one, that is over chores, over responsibilities. I should do everything, she doesn't do everything. No, not necessarily. Express the feelings calmly. I did have a club, a shy teenage client, and actually he doesn't talk much, and then he doesn't answer even his mom properly. He's not obstinate, he's not arrogant. Emotional intelligence again. I taught mom ask him in an indirect way, because he is emotionally charged all the time. Indirect way. I told her, just talk to him, Samuel, if you can keep your room good, it'll be good for me, it'll be good for your dad, it'll be good for the whole family. Instead of asking, well, why don't you clean your room? And I taught her that literal language, sentence by sentence, I taught her. And then, uh, and she was able to communicate better with the guy, with the boy. And Samuel is now 24 years old. He still lives with his mom, and we are trying to we are trying to get Samuel out of the house to find his own way in life. So emotional intelligence plays in every part of our life. Remember that, okay? People need to know what is emotional intelligence. Goldman, you can Google Goleman, you will get the whole stuff on emotional intelligence. Learn emotional intelligence, because we all have emotions and we should know how to conquer our emotions. If you conquer your emotions, you are a star. But conquering emotion takes a lot, because if according to us, the theosophists, what we do is you conquer the body first. Conquer the body means have a discipline. Smoking, drinking, the taking care of your body. Everything should be you got to keep your body good, because your soul needs your body, because only in that way it can learn in life, the journey of life. And then you come across your emotional astral body, emotional body. You got to conquer your emotions. We have a gap technique for that, how to how to conquer the emotional, how to conquer all the emotions in the body. We got the guys called the gap technique, and the gap should be increasing more and more every day between the stimuli and the response. And you're going to jump into that gap when you get that stimuli, emotion, and then you're going to pause, wait, think, answer, and then see how it works. Entirely different story. So here I'll stop here, but the last thing I would like to throw here is that emotional intelligence is more important now in the digital world. The way you communicate, the way you message, the way you answer the emails, and the way you read the emails. Because most of us, when we read, we don't look for positive things. We look only for negative things. You got to change that behavior. Look for positives and negatives. You'll find more and more positives. I'll end here. So I'm sorry, I must have taken a long time. But yep, I did.
I have a
Sorry
question.
about that. So Yeah, sure. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I have a question.
What is your
Yeah,
question?
by the way, it's a great presentation, Sam. And
Thank
my
you.
question is, can you give us one simple daily practice to enhance emotional intelligence?
Yeah, because this is one of the important things which I insist, and this have been also been practicing in my daily life because I got a teenage son. Not exactly teenage, he's now grown up also. But in your everyday life, spend at least 5 minutes reflecting on your emotions per day. Just 5 minutes. I'm not asking you too much. Just 5 minutes. And be sincere, honest in that. 5 minutes, just you think what you felt, why, and how you responded. Three things. Take anything. Maybe your wife, your spouse, maybe your spouse, maybe the bartender, or maybe in a restaurant, or maybe in the bus, the train, or bus station, train station, community church. That somebody snubs you. Somebody tells you something. Why you felt it that way and how you responded. Just think about it and practice this. Start with 5 minutes a day and slowly increase this to almost everything you do in everyday life. You practice this is very important. And just consciously, if needed, anything you need to again do that. And I already told you the gap technique. You could do the gap technique. The gap technique is you get the stimulus. That is, no, the somebody says something and you're going to answer or you're going to react. Between the stimulus and the reactions or the way you respond, there is a gap. And this gap is not used by most of us. The gap is that you have the stimulus, jump into the gap. Don't respond, jump into the gap right away. It'll be this way. This is the stimulus, this is the response, and you can see the gap in between. Jump into the gap. What do I mean that jump into the gap? Pause. Pause before you respond. When you pause, you can think. There's a clarity of thought because we humans are made to react all the time. If a policeman stops you because you were speeding, what will be the first response? Why are you stopping me, officer? I didn't do anything wrong. Common response. And then you go home and then you tell your wife, I was stopped by a policeman, or you tell your friend. Uh, and then on the other hand, you were speeding. You denied it when the policeman stopped you. But when you went home and talked to other people, then you thought, you know what, I was speeding really. Anyway, I won't speed next time. That's what you will tell yourself. So this is called the reaction and action. I call it two ways. Reaction is you directly respond, react. When you do act is not immediate. You think, pause. So in one word to say the daily practice is at least for 5 minutes, you put yourself in a very honest position. Anything that happened today, why did I think that way? Why did I respond this way? Start with that 5 minutes and then use the gap technique. Gap technique, pause. Don't immediately answer. because nobody wants your answer right away. Nobody wants your answer right away. Think, pause, put a stop to it, think, get the clarity of thought, and then respond. This is a good way to do. CAP technique really works. You could start doing it maybe immediately after this talk. I've used this on multiple people and even on myself all the time. Then you will see completely different way of looking at things, different way of responding, because AI plays a big role. Yeah, that's what I would say. And with that, maybe I answered your question, right? Is there anything
Thank
else you
you.
would like to ask on the same question? You could go ahead and ask me if you want. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, that's it for me. Miriam, if you have any
Yeah.
questions to Sam.
Yeah. Ask us some question because because AI is very important in 2026. Is going to be more and more important in coming years because AI has come now. AI doesn't have emotion. Remember that, okay? AI doesn't have emotion. Only humans have emotion, not machines. That makes such a big difference between humans and machines. AI emotions are all stale. They're all words. But human emotions have got a form. They got a kind of a form in the mind. How it is formed because we hold the most complex system in our head. The 3 pound, and if you see the real mind, it's just mushy mushy. It'll be like pieces together, jello like stuff is the brain.
Mm.
If I show you really out of the body, and you'll wonder, is it the brain? Yeah. And unless you take it out, it won't. You cannot see the form. Also, just imagine that 3 pounds we are holding in the head, in the skull. Is it not amazing how much we gathered? And you should know this 3 pounds how we hold it. You must have heard about the sinuses. They are meant for that to make the skull lighter. All those are air pockets holding the brain, making it light in our head. Or else just imagine that 3 pounds can crush your cervical spine in a few minutes. Uh, yeah,
Okay, I just wonder, what's your biggest
maybe.
challenge to maintain AI today in personal relationship and in daily life? So what is the biggest challenge to maintain?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge now is the digital distraction.
Mm.
Biggest challenge is that. And social media pressure. There's another big problem. Now, people have Facebook, Instagrams. You know that I had a couple of them who got depressed only because of social media. Only because of social media. And people have fought only
What's your
because of
advice
social
in this
media.
case?
My advice will be always there. In these remote communications, don't understand the language in a different way because we need to pause, we need to think again. And this is very fast paced in Facebook and also Instagrams. And they trigger stress and miscommunication. First of all, when you get a message, you put something on the social media, that somebody says something, they may comment something. We should not take it right away and then react to it because we don't know what they're facing. Most probably, the person is in a very bad mood. He must have done it only because he faced something in life, and he put something and he commented something on somebody's post. That does not mean harm to you, first of all. So here again comes how you think, how you understand the message. And when you post things on social media also, make it clear that it is not offending anybody. You should not be imposing something on somebody. Make it in a neutral language and always pause before you respond. Again, that's important. Social media is the biggest stress now. That's what I would say. That is the biggest challenge. How you respond, how you communicate digitally, digital understanding. I think I wrote a few papers on that, but we will talk about in the future meetings. Digital understanding and the digital general knowledge. These are coming up. These are new things I'm finding out how we can improve our everyday life. Our future lies in this modern world. Our future depends upon how we communicate. I can say that for sure. Communication is the biggest challenge we have today because how we communicate. Why are so many broken marriages? Why are so many misunderstandings? Why are couple not happy together? Just one answer: emotional intelligence. That's very important. Just imagine the small two alphabets, how much they cost. But the digital distraction, biggest challenge in this century, the digital distraction. We all get how many times you feel bad when you read a message, maybe a response on the post, maybe a response by your friend. Even the boss can send you an email. He may send you an email tomorrow. Accidentally, he typed everything in uppercase. Uppercase means alarm. Oh my God, something is wrong. So we'll worry about it. He must have accidentally put some exclamation marks. And we are going to take it. My God, he put exclamation mark. My God, that's a big question. What am I going to do with him tomorrow? So digital communication, in other words, is the biggest challenge we face. More and more AI comes. People are not even responding with their brains. They respond with AI. You got even your phone. If you want to message, it'll ask you, do you want AI assistance? Yes, AI will create the message for you, what you want to communicate. So that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge we face.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we will conclude the meeting here. Thank you very much for listening to us. We are looking forward for more interesting topics to discuss. Uh, I call it discuss and I call it talk because it's not like you're not saying it's a presentation anymore. We don't want to present anything. All we want to do is impart knowledge to others. What we have gained so far, it can be useful for the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the whole universe. So you're all welcome to ask us questions, put your comments. Don't worry about positive or negative. Whatever comes to your head, put the comments. And after hearing me, most probably you're going to pause and you're going to put the comments. That's what I expect. That's going to create a good thing for you. And use the gap technique when you want to put the comments. Listen to this presentation, slip onto that gap, pause, think. Okay, this is my response. Take it, put it. Perfect, right? So put your topics. What do you want us to talk about? What do you want? Because you know all these things, but you should know that I already told you that you got to build upon things on what you know. That really helps you. You know about motivation now. You can lay yourself more and more on the motivation. You know about EI, you can lay yourself more and more. And on confidence, self-esteem, you can layer more and more. And then imagine that you will be learning more. You can help others. So with this, I'll stop my talk. Is there anything else you both would like to say, Angel and Miriam, before we conclude this meeting?
I'm okay. I just want to say thank you. It was a great presentation, Miriam. and you, Sam. And I welcome everyone to discuss on every topic that they might be interested in discussing in the future. So please do so.
Thank you.
Yeah, Miriam, you
Thank
want to
you,
say
both of
anything?
you. It was an amazing presentation, both of you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you both of you also. That was really good. So we wanted to introduce maybe we might be doing what's called as the Q&A rounds. That's where we are thinking about. It will be like a podcast, but it'll be a Zoom cast. You will be doing virtually. You can see our faces, you can see our emotions, how we are answering, but it'll be an interactive question and answer. We'll be doing that. We will be alternating that with these things, with these talks. We'll be alternating the podcast like talks, Q&A talks. So to make it more interesting, and almost all of you are welcome to attend the meeting because we're like more participants. You can have the direct interaction. You can get your questions. You can ask your questions. You're most welcome. You can put those things in your the comments. Maybe you can put your email or your maybe your phone number. We can send you a Zoom link uh, on of these meetings, and you're all welcome to join us. Okay. All right. Have a good new year. So start the new year positive thinking. That's what I would say. Positive. Think positive. If you think positive, positive things will happen. If you think negative, negative things will happen. Okay. So this all depends upon how you think. There is no good, there is no bad. We label them as good and bad. There is no rich, there is no poor. We label them as that is the rich and poor. It all depends upon how you think. It all depends upon the clarity of thought because we have been taught from childhood black and white. That is, that's the darkness and brightness, but we don't go in between the gray zone. Think about it. What might be there? No, we don't think about it. So, positive thinking. See good in everything. Never see bad in anything. Okay, always see good in everything. Then you will know how things are. And 2026 is going to be a good year for all of you. So start the good year with all the gust you have in life. And motivation was a good thing you all talked about, and self-esteem and self and all these are bound together. Those two topics, they I mean they intersect in many of the things. More motivation and the confidence, motivation, the purpose, and the self-esteem. All these things are together. But neuropsychologically, we think about in a different way. But I don't want to talk about that because we do activate the centers. We can activate the centers that are really needed for purpose. We can activate the centers that are really needed for confidence and self-esteem. Yeah, those are few things which is a bit of an advanced hypnotherapy. There we can stimulate those parts of the brain, mostly the prefrontal cortex, and also anterior cingulate gyrus, and we can stimulate those parts that needs, which can improve the way you can think about yourself. It can improve your motivation and your inspire how you want to go further in life. I do have an example also of that. No, there was a 45-year-old female who lost everything in 1 week. She lost the job. She had a big loss in her stocks, and she went from 100 to zero. That was her life in October of last year. And she came to me because she could not understand herself, what's going on, and where everything collapsed in 1 week. I'm dead. She locked herself in the room, and somebody they told her that she has got to get some help. She came to me. Interesting story. And she had 8 sessions with me. And I got a call last week, I think. Yeah, last week, that she got 2 projects approved. She got a job, and the stock market is slowly improving for her. Interesting, isn't it? I didn't do anything. She had everything inside her. Everything was there. But she was putting herself down, like what my colleague Miriam spoke about it. Self-esteem, confidence, everything went low, zero. She thought she's useless. She has got a family to support. Husband is sick. She has got sister is not married, brother is not married. She has got no job now. And what I did, I just motivated her. She needed some external motivation for internal motivation to spark. Once you give us something from outside, her inner motivation started, and she was confident. She was applying for jobs, and finally she got one. So think positive. Don't go low in your life. Don't think that everything will crash if something goes wrong. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get up again, how you rise again from every fall is important. So, with this, we will stop the talk. I think we already exceeded the time. You got to see, maybe you got to cut the tape to put it on YouTube. It won't accept so much. It's long way now. It's already 1 hour. So, okay, you can stop
Thank you, Chris.
recording. Yeah, you can
Thank
stop
you.
recording. Yep.